Okay, here's a review quiz for the final exam. Hopefully, all worked out correctly. Number one, new set of tools, $2,800. Sales tax, 7.8%. What's the total cost? Pretty straightforward. The most popular method is to multiply the 2,800 by 0.078 and then add that tax to the 2,800, giving you $3,018 and 4 dimes. We usually write 40 cents. The cool method is to realize that adding a percent of a number to that number is essentially adding 100%, in this case 2,800, to 7.8%, giving you 107.8%. So the cool way is just to multiply that by 1, because 1 times 2,800 is 2,800, and 0.078 times 2,800 is a tax, all at once, and there's the same answer, and that is the cool method. Number two, so this pool hall cost $62,350, tax included. The question is, what was the price of the pool hall before tax? And the price, the federal tax is given to be 7.5%. So using algebra, if X is the price before tax, then what happens to that X? The X gets augmented by 7.5% of it. Again, a number plus 7.5% of it is 107.5% of it, which is 1.075. Algebra says we divide by 1.075 and we come up with $58,000 before tax. You can check this answer using the most popular method by multiplying 58,000 by 0.075. That's the tax. Add that on to 58,000 and there you get the 62,350. You can also check it the cool way, multiply 58,000 by 1 point the tax rate and you get the same answer. Very cool stuff. Number three, 1999, the TV cost 670, and 2003, it went down in price to 470. So this is a percent decrease. Whether it is increase or decrease, you take the difference between the old and the new, the positive difference, in this case 670 minus 470 is 200, and divide that not by the big one or the little one, divide that by the old one, because the price change is based on the old price. It went down a certain percentage. So you do the $200 difference divided by the old price, you get 0.2985, which is 29.85%, and it says round to the nearest 0.1%. And that means where the 8 is. So you need two places to the right of the point, which is why I wrote out the first four, two places to the right, and that number is that 5 is definitely big enough, but just barely to raise that to 29.9%. Same kind of problem. Um, Putting some money aside at 5% interest so that it will grow to 7,000 in 1 year. So if X dollars is deposited, then that X dollars will add interest to that. The bank will add interest to that of 5%. And again, X plus 0.05X is 1.05X. So you divide, you get 6666.67, but it says round to the nearest dollar, and 60 cents is close enough to make it $67. All right, we're making some sausage. 40, 35 together, or 75%. So the rest is the other 25%. So let X be the total weight of the pork, beef, and venison, and 25% times the total weight, that's the 275 pounds of venison. Divide, you get 1100, but don't put 1100 for your answer because the question says what? How much beef? Aha. So don't get this wrong because you answered the wrong question. 35% of 1100 is 385 pounds. Number six, $9.95 includes the tax. So let X be the price of the donuts before the tax. X is added to 0.0775 times X, and that totals $9.95. Again, this is 1X, so 1X plus 0.0775X is 1.0775X. You divide and you get 9.234, which to the nearest penny is $9.23. You can subtract that from the total cost of $9.95 and get 72 cents or dollar sign 0.72, but not 0.72 cents. Alternatively, you can do $9.95 divided by 1.0775 and immediately multiply that by the tax rate, 0.0775, and you get 0.7156, which rounds to 72 cents or $0.72. All right, number 7. We've seen this a few times. Three things to do. Subtract the fees because they're not taxed. Divide by 1.08 to determine the price before tax, but after the discount. And then divide that answer by 0.95 because the result in step B is 95% of the sticker price because 5% off is 90% on. And you do 19,200 minus 219. And you should say equals now, because if you say divided by and you have a scientific calculator, it'll divide 219 by 1.08. We don't want to do that. So we'll say equals. Now we'll say divided by 1.08 equals if you want, and then divide that by 0.95 because it's 95% of the, and there it is, $18,500. Okay. Okay. This person wants to take out enough money to have 46,000 cash after the IRS gets 29% of the amount withdrawn. That's critical. Of the amount withdrawn, not 29% of something else. So here it is. If X dollars are withdrawn, X take away 29% of X is 46,000. And again, this is 1X minus 0.29X. And of course, 1 minus 0.29, and don't forget to look at it, is 0.71. So the 46,000 is 71% of the amount withdrawn. So the amount withdrawn must be 46,000 divided by 0.71, which is 64,788.73, which rounds to, because it says to the nearest dollar, 64,789. So don't miss it because you didn't round it the way you're asked to. You can check this answer using the popular method by multiplying the amount withdrawn, hopefully by 0.29 for the government, then subtract that amount, and sure enough, you get $46,000.19. And the 19 cents is extra because we rounded up from 73 cents, we rounded that up 27 cents. Or check using the cool way. 71% of the amount withdrawn is $46,000.19. But the very cool way, I might add. All right, number 9, the grant. Okay, 5% of the total budget, that goes for from the college. The rest of it is $7.5 million. So the rest of it must be the other 95%. So 0.95 of the total budget is 7,500,000. Divide by 0.95 makes the total budget that big number. The college's share is that big number minus the grant of 7,500,000. Or you can take that big number and multiply it by 0.05 and you come up with the same thing to the nearest penny painlessly. How fun is that? All right, the home builder. There are 4 little pieces here going to insurance, salaries, advertising, and the salesperson, and those 4 percentages add up to 30%. That means the rest is 70%, and that must be the lot plus the labor plus the materials. So the lot was 17,000, the labor was 700 hours at 18 bucks an hour, and the materials were $95,000. You add up that all together and you get 124,600. I recommend if you have a non-scientific calculator, you do 700 times 18 first, and then you can add 17,000, and then you can add 95,000, and you get $126,600, $124,600. So if X is a selling price, then 70% of it must be 124.6, which you divide by 0.7, get the selling price to be $178,000. And here's a little way you can check that if you like. Take 30% of that number, that's for those little 4 little pieces there, and then add the lot, labor, and material. And guess what? There's the selling price. Perfect. All right. And number 11, grades earned in class. You got three A's and so on. You add them up. You have 27 students. You divide each of those five numbers by 27. Write four decimal places because it asks for us to round it to the nearest 0.1%. Okay, so that means one digit to the right of the point after it's changed to a percent. So the answer is not 0.1. Change it to a percent first, then round it off to one decimal place after you've changed it to a percent. And the rest are the same, 5 divided by 27 and so on. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. Yay.